Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would take the time, since I haven't done one of these in a while, to do a Coffee with Liz segment. So stay tuned. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I thought that I would do this outside. As you can see, my background, or my backyard is the background. It's such a beautiful day. I thought I would come outside and film. Let me take a sip here. I don't know if you could see, but this is from Gettysburg. We went a couple of years ago, and it's my favorite coffee mug. Actually, any mug that holds coffee is my favorite, but anyways, I didn't think that I would bring this up again because I figured the one video I put out last weekend or 2 weekends ago would be sufficient, but it just seems that I didn't get everything off my chest. And if you're like me, then you're a thinker. You have to be a thinker in order to be a writer. But just I'll touch on this and then I won't mention it again. I don't plan on it because I'm not one to bring drama to my channel. But the one thing that has truly bothered me through all of this is the hypocrisy, as well as the holier than thou attitude and the looking down your nose type of persona that particular author tuber has put out. Now, before I go any further, I do understand that my personality, sometimes people look at me and automatically think that I am snobby. I've had people say, you know, before I got to know you, I thought you were stuck up. I thought you were like really into yourself. And no, I'm just quiet and I'm an observer. But the one thing that I do know that has been ingrained deep inside of me, and I think was passed on down from my father, was an ability to be able to see right through somebody. Now, we all know who this author tuber is, Kristen Martin. She put out a video today, and I thought for sure, you know, she's talking about, I think, taking the high road or lifting each other up. I forget the name of the title, and it was tea time, and I thought for sure she would get on there and possibly explain her stance on things. But she didn't. In fact, she went on to use the term haters, and she went on to say, you know, taking the high road, something about it's less traveled, the high road, and she just used all this terminology, pretty much talking down to people. And I am not on a witch hunt. Whether you believe me or not, I do not go on witch hunts. I don't believe in them. I have seen witch hunts go down. People have come after me throughout my life. I have been bullied. I know what it feels like, and I would never in a million years go on a witch hunt, bully someone, call people names, or wish ill against anyone. So before you mark me off and say this girl is nothing but drama, you know, click off and go to another channel, because I'm going to be real with you for a few minutes. If you have made a mistake, and you are of the realization that you did make the mistake, or that someone misunderstood you, I'm of the belief that you own up to it. If people misunderstand you, you don't owe them an explanation. I'm not saying that she owes us an explanation. What I am saying is getting on her channel, like she did this morning, and acting as if she was superior to the rest of us is the same BS she's been pulling since I started watching her. At first, I went way back. I believe it was October of 2017 is when I started watching Kristen Martin, and I thought she was on point. But her channel began skyrocketing. She began making money by her scams, and it got to her head. I'm not saying that Kristen Martin is the whole thing that is wrong with AuthorTube. Not at all. But like Natalia Lee said in her video, which I'll link below, it's the ego. It's allowing something to get to your head. When I first put my video out a couple weeks ago or a couple weekends ago, it was not to get views. It was not to grow my channel. Not at all. In fact, I did it, embraced myself to basically commit business suicide. I thought I was going to kill the subscribers I already had, and I would get a lot of hate and everything. And instead, the opposite happened, and I was shocked at how many people thanked me for putting out there certain stuff. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I can allow those 30 plus people that subscribed to me over the last week and a half or so get to my head. And I'm a small author tuber. But I'm also of the belief it doesn't matter how many followers you have, you're no better than me. I don't care if you have 50 books on a shelf. Okay? Stephen King is my role model. Sometimes he could be cocky and arrogant. Sure. I mean, it's Stephen King, you know? But he has the right to get up and tell us writers, you know. But even then, if he talked down to me, I would be turned off. I literally probably would never listen to him again. And you might say, well, you have a problem with authority. Well, no, Kristen's not my authority. But I have a problem with getting on your channel and acting as if you are God Almighty and your 7 haters have gotten on and spread hate and drama. Anyways, I guess I just had to get that off my chest because it triggered me this morning. I thought I had unsubscribed to her because I'm not one to continue to watch somebody or listen to somebody that triggers me. And I don't know what I was thinking. I saw her tea time video and I gave her the benefit of the doubt. That's one of my weaknesses. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes I forgive people twice, 3 times, 4 times, 20 times, 50 times, and I get burned each and every time. And yes, it's my fault because you can forgive someone, but if they do not do anything to change their actions or to change the path that they have taken, they're not really sorry. They're not repenting, use a word like repent. They're not turning from their ways. They're not figuring out what it is. You can apologize till you're blue in the face. Sure, I'll forgive you, but I will not forget. And so, I don't know. I don't know what the whole purpose of me ranting about that. I just had to get it off my chest because I gave her the benefit of the doubt in my last video, and I thought for sure she would get on, and I didn't think that she would add to the drama because I've never seen her do anything like that. But when you get on and you act as if you are Jesus Christ, no, I've lost all respect, man. Like, that's the end of that era. And hopefully, we are able to rebuild AuthorTube. Like Jenna Streety said in her video, she's afraid that our AuthorTube can go do one or two things. It can continually sweep things under the rug and pretend that we don't have issues going on. Or the second thing we can do is bring things to the light, learn, grow, and somehow become better and stronger through this. I know that I am guilty of ego. Even though my channel is small, I know that I am guilty of it. I am not above any of that. And I'm sure, in fact, I know I've looked down my nose at people before, okay? And I've come across as if I haven't done anything wrong. But you know what? When I came to the realization that I did that to people, no matter how hard it was, no matter how hard of a pill it was to swallow, I admitted it. And some people are so narcissistic, they can't see the nose on their own face. And I'm not calling her that. I'm just saying some people in general are so narcissistic that they don't think that anything they're saying or doing is wrong. This is one thing that I have learned over the past year, that narcissists do exist. Narcissists think only of themselves. They blame the other person. There's nothing wrong with having self-confidence. I'm all for self-confidence. I'm all for being comfortable in your own skin and acknowledging your flaws, admitting when you do make a mistake, and then growing from it. There has to be a point where you admit and then grow. That's my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm not for causing any more on this. It's just, it got under my skin and I was like, ugh, I've got to say something. And I had to wait till I calmed down because I don't want to get on here and rant like a fool. You know what I'm saying? So I want to change topics or directions a little bit and tell you a little bit about what I've been doing writing-wise. Just recently, within the past month or so, I actually started using Twitter a lot more. I had been using Instagram a lot last year, but I don't know, I got a little frustrated because, you know, as a writer, we like to write a lot of things, and of course you could write a lot of things on Instagram, but for some reason, I got it in my head, you know, maybe I should try to grow my Twitter platform. And so I was doing the follow or FF hashtag, I think that's what it's called for the writing community, and follow me and I'll follow you back type thing. And usually I think that kind of stuff is corny, but I think that I benefited from this time because my platform began to grow and it's still growing. But not only that, like, I found this one person on Twitter, he's from Germany, and he said he wanted to do an experiment, and I am so excited to be a part of this experiment. And we are collabing. I believe there are 12 of us who are writing this particular book. And it's amazing because we are from different countries. Some of us, English is our second language. Different time zones, of course. Different genres. And what's amazing is that there's only one element that's going to tie all of our stories together. And I am stoked. I am pumped to do this because I believe there is strength in numbers, number one. And yes, writing is a solitary thing. It's a solitary, you know, it's personal. As a writer or as an artist, it's personal. but you can only grow so much. You have to keep pushing yourself past the limit. You have to go a step further to learn more. And I think writing with other people is a great exercise, especially this project that I'm currently working on. I'm so excited about it. We each have 10,000 words that we're going to write, and I was just thinking the other day, you know, I'm almost 5,000 into my story, and I'm scared I'm not going to be able to get the whole story told in 10,000 words. But I think it's better to overwrite, and then when it's edited, you know, it could go down to 10,000. So, you know, I'm just so pumped about it, because it's putting our heads together. We had to put our heads together. We had to come up with an element that would be able to tie our stories together. So say somebody writes sci-fi, or somebody writes fantasy, or like me, I think mine would be considered contemporary historical fiction. I don't know if there's such a thing. It's kind of like historical fiction, but it's modern. So anyways, that's my story. Dramatic, drama, I don't know. You could have sub-genres, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing that. And then, not only that, I asked a dear writer friend of mine if she would be willing to collab with me. I've known her now for probably 2 years and some change, and she is great at what she does. She's a phenomenal creative. Let's just put it that way. She has multiple talents, and I have been reading her work for a while, and I've been encouraging her to publish. So if she's watching me right now, you must publish your work. And we are putting our heads together to start a project, which I am so excited about. I am, for myself, I am writing poetry still. Other than that, my nonfiction is still on hold. It's been a kind of rough spring for me, you know, when grief-wise. I said that I talk about that somewhat on my channel, and I don't know, like, I've cried a lot this spring, and I've laughed a lot. I mean, I have felt better than in years past, but there have been moments when I have been very low in remembering my dad. And as each day passes, yeah, there are days when, you know, like, okay, it's time is up, you know, like, I just gotta see him. You know what I mean? As each day passes, it's like more and more time that has passed since I've seen him. And it was 4 years on May the 7th, but like my grief counselor told me, you'll grieve the rest of your life, and it's grieving the love. The love is still there, but it's like that disconnect. Knowing that I could, like, talk to him, but I can't hear him talk back, you know? That's the part that's hard. And sometimes to get through that, I do write poetry, or I have a journal. I have several journals. I can't keep track of them all. I carry one in my purse. I have one in my desk at work. I have so many at the house, and I'll grab one and I'll date it and I'll write my feelings out. And sometimes I'll look back and I'm like, whoa, that's deep. You know, this girl needs help. But it's just a way of release, I guess. Writing has always been a release. I used to play the piano, and playing the piano was also a release for me, but I haven't really done that in a while. So yeah, my nonfiction is on hold for right now. I had a historical fiction that I was working on. That's kind of on hold. I was listening to Kaylee. I forget her last name or her channel. But since I mentioned her, I'll link her below. I think it's Kaylee White. She was talking about giving herself a pen name because she has all these book ideas, and you know, there's this misconception that you should only work on one project at a time. Sure, if that works for you, but there are some of us writers who have so many ideas, and hey, I've got to get so much of this down, I got to get it out, and there's nothing wrong with working on several projects at one time. I really liked that part, Kaylee. I commend you for that, and keep writing what comes to your mind, because hey, you never know which one of those will be done first, and you never know which one of those will be a bestseller one day. So hats off to you. But going back to the beginning of this video where I talked about Jenna Streety said she was doing a brand new newbie tag, AuthorTube newbie tag, and she was challenging some of us to, you know, do it after she releases it on Friday. I am really excited about this. I will probably take my old one and put it on private, and like she is doing, so that it's not confused with this new one coming out. I'm really excited. I am all for growth. I am all for, if you want to do a collab with me, reach out if you think of something. You know, I'm all for doing collabs, people, because there's strength in numbers. This is a solitary thing. And Writerly, I think that's her name. I'm just bad with names. She tweeted last night how she would love to see an AuthorTube panel at BookCon, because there is a BookTube panel, and I would love to be on an AuthorTube panel. I think it would be great to have people on an AuthorTube panel at BookCon. I've always wanted to go to BookCon, people, and I was looking at Instagram stories and posts this past weekend with envy because I wanted to be there so bad. But I will be there one day, and I will have a table, even if I just go to walk around and meet people. But yeah, BookCon, if you're listening to this, it's time you had an AuthorTube panel. That would be great. And don't just invite people who have huge audiences. Invite the small people like me. I would love it. Even though I'm shy, I just think it would be great to sit there and have a conversation and have a panel and answer questions, because why not? But I probably should end here. I know that I talked about different topics. I'm excited to bring more inspiring content to my channel. I will be doing that newbie tag coming up, and then in July, I want to talk about my own experience and how I self-published my own book, and how I don't plan on self-publishing everything. I probably talked about why I chose to self-publish this book, but I have it broken down into several videos, and I'm excited to share that with you. I did a poll on Twitter probably about a month ago, and people said they wanted to learn how I self-published. I'm not an expert, but I'll just tell you, the stuff that I did. Let's share it with you. So, yeah, that's all for Coffee with Liz this week. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's start a conversation below. What do you plan to do to make AuthorTube more positive? What are you going to bring to the table? And tell me. I would love to come and subscribe to your channel too. I want us to support each other. Let's lift each other up this week. And like I say each and every week to my writers, just keep on writing.